Look at how this structure up on top there is built right into the side of the cliff, the modern day cliff dwellers. This is a narrow walkway, walkway up to this archaeological site. How pretty each of these has been made and a place to sit and relax. I'll come down and read there for a while maybe. Interesting backyard built literally under the stone. It's amazing how many unique little niches, millions of them in the world. Oh, the poor bird. Hope he longer gets to enjoy all of this. I can only imagine when man built these walls. They're not 14,000, but just imagine that they're old, maybe several hundred years. I tried to go in there, but she said you need a ticket. So I went over to the ticket booth, which is there, and it's closed, catch 22. So someone inside the laboratory said, if I wait a few minutes, somebody will come and open that up because there's already a tour in there. By looking in the mirror, this is an example of some relief sculpturing, if you will. You can see the animal that looks like, actually it looks like a goat or something, or a sheep. You see its two legs there, and then two legs in the rear leg. On the left, it looks like its horns up on top there. This looks like its eye, that looks like its horns filling two arches, one above the other. And then the skull there, I think. This shows the stratigraphy of the limestone. You can see in the upper portion that yellow, and then a darker yellow, and then even still darker yellow. This site that we're at, Abri Pataud, represents nearly 10 meters high of sediment, corresponding to 14,000 years of discontinuous human occupation between 32,000 and 18,000 BC. These are apparently bones that have been found at this site. The different animals that they represent. Yes. Some teeth samples. And this, I think, is the reindeer. And it looks like a wild boar. And these are the remains of some little critters. Vertebrates de poisson. I'm guessing that means a snake, but I don't know. Large herd migration must have been during the time of the Ice Age. This goes back apparently 20,000 years. This represents the sequence of tools, tool kits over time. These will represent the changes, evolution in tool kits over time. This is laid out like a regular excavation, is what it is. And this is just a stratigraphy of the soil that they work their way down in an attempt to find anything they can find. Notice that's 34,000 years ago. So it's from there and up through here that everything is to be found. I don't know what that is right there. And this gives some idea of what the climates were at the time of these pictures in these stratigraphy layers.
Why? Because it's really finished. At the end here and here, we found the bedrock. And the bedrock here is the rock of limestones of a cliff. And we know it's really finished and discussed. And we found in this place then 14 archaeological layers. The number 14 is the oldest. You can see these layers only in this side. Here. In the datation it's 34,000 years. Then 34,000 years ago, some Crimean men came for the first time at this place and they settled them at this place. They put a camp at this place. And after the Crimean men used this place during 14,000 years, then they stayed here during a long time. Okay. And why it's a good place for this time to put a camp? Well, first, fox, then to afraid the
This is a fire hearth here.
And they use the fire to smoke. Et donc c'est un voyage qu'on a utilisé pour repérer l'emplacement de chaque espèce.
And this is the site map relevant to that we just looked at. And the size of the fire hearths or areas that they've depicted there depicts apparently the length of time, relatively speaking, that they occupied that particular site. I'm not sure what Couche 3 means, but I'm thinking it may mean level. If that's the case, then looking at this map next to it depicts a different time period in which it was occupied. This would be 24,000 years ago, and the first one I looked at was 30,000 years ago. So you can see how the use of this whole area, underneath this cave, was increased significantly over 6,000 years. 6,000 years seems incredible. It's interesting to note that in looking at the stratigraphy, there were several periods, at least two, when huge chunks of that limestone fell to the floor of the cave. They have not found any humans underneath those, or animals, although underneath some they have found fragments of rock that was painted. This is a carving, but I can't make out what it is. I'll take a picture of the interpretive. Apparently they're going to begin to excavate this in September.
It might even been a doodle.
Yeah. So I'm now back in the museum part of this site, and this is the Couche 4, and I'm just progressing along without concerning too much technical, but you can see the greater detail, the small fine work, small and finer, apparently even then was an indicator now of their sophistication. And ironically, other than the batch in the lower center, the rest of these look rather rough, as do these. And it may be that I have all of this backward, I don't know. Now here we're looking at some of the art fragments of cave drawings, and I'll just read what the special English interpretive page says. It is in this region, on the banks of the river Eyzies, that man invented drawing 30,000 years ago. The Paleolithic period art of southwestern Europe developed over 20,000 years ago and disappeared 10,000 years ago. Schematically, it can be divided into three periods: before Lascaux, at the time of Lascaux, after Lascaux. The works of Abri Pataud that we're in now was in the first period. And these look like some decorations of some sort. The holes through them would have been used as necklaces, perhaps. Notice the seashells. I'm not sure how far we are from the sea, but it's a fair distance. Not over the next hill, in other words. And apparently there's a horse down in here, but I can't see it. This is the skull of a young woman, 16 to 18 years old, that was found in the cave along with a few bones of her baby. Apparently, there were 3 or 4 sets of bones found there. I'm sure the drawing colors represent the portions of the body's skeleton that were found. A sculptor who does this kind of thing apparently attempted to recreate her size and appearance, and this is the representation of it. And you'll notice that she has jewelry, including looks like elk's teeth or something like that, as part of it. That her garments are sewn in leather, and they're pierced, of course, with this awl here. These are some little shots of a painting that's quite large, but the light is such that it creates too much reflection, so I'm just showing some small portions of it. Looks like men killing a buffalo, and woolly mammoths in the background. And perhaps some human beings fishing off of a rock there. An ibex. More buffalo in the background. And man.